Hello everybody, Andy here again. This is another one of those videos that never actually intended to make, but the video fairy has struck again. Funnily enough, I recorded a video earlier on about this exact type of thing. I went out for a run, came home, was in the shower, and I started thinking about something that's been happening to me over the last few days. I've suddenly found myself, for those who are interested, sort of listening to old Elton John albums, and the albums specifically are this one, Madman Across the Water, and this one, Tumbleweed Connection. And these are sort of 1971, that sort of time, really before we got this sort of band together. And I was thinking to myself, why have I started listening to those? One of the reasons is it's to do with sort of films, movies, call them what you will, sort of musical films, and ones that I've liked, ones that I've watched recently and I've sort of got involved with, and that sort of put me in the past. Because one of the films, it's turned into sort of a review thing, isn't it? Was this film, Almost Famous, and this one, which I'm sure you probably heard me mention before, Elizabethtown. Now, the common denominator between both of those films and movies, for those who are the uninitiated, they're both Cameron Crowe films. Now, Cameron Crowe, the Almost Famous film, is more or less like a biopic in some ways, because it's a bit about his life. He started as a youngster, he got involved in journalism, music journalism, and he went on to write for Rolling Stone, and his turn, I think he even ended up as the editor, I can't remember, could be wrong there, but he's a great music lover, and one of the things about both of those films is that the music sort of really goes through them. Almost Famous is pretty much about a sort of fictitious rock band, but the music in it is very good. I seem to remember it was written by Peter Frampton, who I'm sure the older people amongst you will certainly know of. And one of the things I think is this album, it uses this album, the track Tiny Dancer, to a great extent in that particular film, and he understands the music, and that's the other point I think about, and also about this film, Elizabethtown, and that the music really runs through that as well. And in that particular film, he uses another Elton John song off of the Tumbleweed Connection album, a track called My Father's Gun. Also on that album is a track, I think it's, I can't remember which album it is now, is a track called Leave On. And PappyStu, a great sort of a YouTuber, a great sort of diverse talent, I think, one of those people that we need on this channel. I was talking about Mavericks and that the other week, and that's exactly what he is. And he used that particular track, Leave On, as well, and maybe that's where it comes into it. But the point I was trying to make was about the fact that this guy, Cameron Crowe, knows the music. He understands the music, and I think that's something that doesn't come across in a lot of these other sort of films or other sort of types of life, if you want, in that sort of way. He gets it, and the music in there is put in there. It's exactly the right songs. The music is an integral part of the movies. He loves the music. You can tell that it's a big part of it. And for someone like myself who's very into the music, you sort of get involved in it and you listen to the music and you can see why it's in a particular place in the film as well. So it's so well worked out, rather than being like a product placement thing and people writing things for the film, writing special music and stuff. Nothing to do with that. It's all older music. Obviously the Almost Famous, as I said, a lot of the music was written for it, but it's authentic, and then they use the sort of the real songs, if you want, the older songs like the Elton Johns and people like that, as like part of the soundtrack to it as well. But it fits, and that's what I like. And this led me on to thinking about something that's happened recently, the YouTube live event. Now, I didn't watch it. I must admit I was pretty cynical about the whole idea. Anybody who went, I suppose it was a great idea to go to actually meet people there, but the actual event itself and the way it was put on, the people that were involved and the music, it was 2 hours, for God's sake. Surely it could have been a lot longer than that. As I said, I didn't see it for whatever reason, but I've seen several videos about it, and I mentioned one by Katie Block, which I really enjoyed. I always enjoy her vlogs anyway. MeanBlackDude, another good guy, and also Zipster did a very good video, and they all had sort of cynical points of view. Maybe it's a common point there. They're all vloggers, and they were talking about, I don't know if they actually mentioned this, but they were talking about certain aspects of it and how YouTube just didn't seem to understand what YouTube was actually about. Why people come to YouTube. They're turning YouTube into a TV show or a TV channel, which is exactly the thing that we've come here to get away from. So a bit like this with the music and the films and everything, but the other way around. They don't actually understand. Cameron Crowe, he knows his music, he puts his music into his films, he understands the music, he loves his music, and he gets it, and the music is there, it's perfect. Now, a lot of record company people don't get it, so that's why you've got all the rubbish and the charts and the sort of the boring stuff that you get now. They don't really get the music, they don't feel it, they don't understand it. It doesn't come from here, it comes from the wallet, and that's a different matter. And I think that's pretty much the same sort of feeling that we've got with the YouTube Live. As I said, I didn't see it, so this is just my impression from listening to other people. It was all about the younger generation for a start. No one there a bit older, no one really in the way of sort of vlogging and that type of thing, talking about the community, but not really the people that are involved in the community. Maybe a couple of exceptions, but once again, I think it's another one of those cases of the people at the top not necessarily understanding what it's really about. The people who are here, the people who love their music, the filmmakers who like their music and love their film for that matter, the directors now who know exactly what they're doing, the musicians who are making the music for the right reasons because it comes from here, and maybe the people who make videos for that reason as well. We're not understood, we're misunderstood, but hopefully we will rise to the top, and maybe we can be like Cameron Crowe one day and rise, you know, as an enthusiast, as a music lover, and end up doing something you want to do, and then you can put a bit back into it. But as I said, one of those videos, literally off the top of my head, jumped out of the shower, still quite warm, and thought, right, I'm going to put this on video, see how it comes out. Just grab the DVDs and the CDs and see how it goes. Anyway, I'll be interested to know what you think about that. So anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.